nothing changes.
What's going on, guys? Today is February 10th, 2020, and man, the Facebook group's been blowing up. I want to preface this video by saying I don't want any politics, I don't want any world events, I don't want any arguments going on in the comment section about this, but that goes without saying. People in the Facebook groups and in my emails and messages have been asking about ordering goods from China, either wholesale or Alibaba or parts, or even, just doing business in general with packages that may have came or originated in China because of the coronavirus. So if you've been living under a rock and you don't know, as of today, which is Monday the 10th when you'll see this video, the coronavirus is a SARS type virus. It causes coughing, sneezing, upper respiratory pneumonia, and it is killing people. Now, the thing about coronavirus, it started in China in Wuhan. It's called the Wuhan Coronavirus with animals at their open animal markets. The thing about it with the SARS back in 2013 or 14, somebody correct, or 2003, 2004, about 15 years ago, 16 years ago, was that, let's say, I don't know the numbers exactly, but let's say 10 people got it, 2 or 3 would die. A high deadliness of it. It was deadly, but it didn't spread quite as fast as this new coronavirus is spreading. The coronavirus's death percentage is not as high, but overall it is going to kill more people because in spades more people are infected. So SARS infects 10 people and 30% die. Three people die, right? Well, coronavirus infects 100 people, only 20% die, but that's 20 people. So still more people died, just a lesser percentage of the overall total. Now, those are made up numbers. I don't know the real numbers. I do know them as I look at it on the internet. I've been watching. I know as of today, though, the number is going to go over 1,000 that have died. And I have a friend who was just recently in Asia, and it's in China, and it's way, way worse than they're reporting, which is always the case with China. They always hide things. So on to the original topic at hand. Is it safe to buy and sell merchandise coming out of China? Well, for the most part, 99.99%, yes. So if you're not a biologist or a doctor, which I'm not, and most of us aren't, these diseases cannot live outside of the body for X amount of time. And so obviously, if we're in a hotel or a cruise ship, which some of those are docked off the ports because they're not safe to come in, and you sneeze on a handrail and you have the disease, and I walk up that handrail that day, there's a good chance I can get it, or it's out in the air, it's in the hallways, it's in the elevators. Yes, that is a sort of thing, in a hospital or a hotel where it can spread like wildfire, and that's how it spreads. But when you're talking about, let's say somebody in a Chinese factory has it and they're producing merchandise and they're packing it up and they sneeze and they get it on the bubble wrap or the tissue paper, whatever they put in that box. They're gonna put it in a box. They're gonna seal that box up. They're gonna send that box out of China. It's gonna eventually make its way from a plane or a truck to a boat. And it's gonna take a boat after several days of getting to the boat, or at least a day or two of getting to the boat. It's gonna then take days, if not weeks, to get to the boat, to get over to the port of New York or the port of LA or even Miami, wherever it ends up. And then it has to ship in transit through Customs and Border Protection. It makes it through their machines another day or two. Sometimes this is a 2 to 3 to 4 week process for something to come out of China. Even in the fastest terms, you're not going to get something in less than 7 to 10 days. I've gotten packages, smaller ones, out of China in about 10 days. I don't think it's ever been any faster. Usually it's about 14 to 21. That amount of time is going to kill. Those diseases just can't live. They're going from hot climates, boxed up inside of planes or boats, to cold climates, to warehouses where the border control is, all the way through to the final truck, UPS, FedEx, DHL, delivering to your doorstep where you're going to open it up. Sealed inside of that box, it's not going to live through all of that change. You are safe, but I do want to warn you that a lot of orders being made out of China, if you're Alibaba, if you're wholesale, they were closed for 2 weeks because of the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year, and that is in the beginning of January into the beginning of this month, and then they're closed for 2 weeks beyond that. I've heard all the way up until next week, because of this coronavirus. I've heard some of them are going back to work tomorrow, which is technically right now today for them. But some of them will not be back to work for a week or two. So I want to take you over to screen recording. I want to show you guys one little thing so I can wrap this video up. But check this out about the stats for shipping packages and coronavirus and how long it lives, just so you're protected and so that you know the truth. It's a myth. You will not get sick from ordering something from China, but don't expect it to get here in a timely fashion because they are on huge delays. Okay, so here we are on Business Insider. This is about the virus and shipping. The virus is very fragile outside the human body, which means you can't get it from a package or envelope, like I just said. Some people have raised concerns that they might be able to contract the coronavirus from imported goods packed by people in other countries who might be sick. Public health experts point out that the virus can only live for a few hours on hard surfaces. The only way it's being spread between people is through close contact. In other words, sneezing, coughing, fluids, anything like that. For example, the first case of human-to-human transmission in the U.S. was between a husband and wife who lived together. Well, obviously, a husband and wife have close quarters. The coronavirus particles are very heavy and usually fall to the ground right around a sick person rather than lingering in the air. That means just breathing the air is probably not going to happen. Again, like I said, they're going to have to sneeze or cough or spit or some kind of fluid or bodily transfer that, ends up on a handrail or, a computer screen or a table or a counter or somewhere where you also are, because that's where they're going to spread it. This makes the virus far less contagious, and that a single infected person tends to spread their illness to between 1 and 3 other people, like a flu, because most people around you are not sharing your bodily fluids or washing behind you. But again, if you're that person that goes out to work or goes to a hotel and is coughing and sneezing and wiping your mouth and rubbing the handrails, then yeah, you're going to spread it to a bunch of people. And children are finding, to be really resilient to the virus. So that's pretty crazy. If we come up here to the 2019 Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, which was updated for 2020, they have the frequently asked questions. And if you scroll down to the how does the virus spread, it emerged from an animal source, but seems to be spreading from person to person. It's important to note that the person-to-person spread can happen on a continuum. Some viruses are highly contagious, like measles, while other viruses are less so. At this time, it's unclear how easily or sustainably this virus is spreading between people, but they, of course, have updated that. So if we keep scrolling down, it talks about close contact and the use of face masks, which is why that's so important. And then when you come down here, it just talks more about preventing it, public response, all these sort of things, travel, which have all been updated. If we go to the third one, it actually mentions on NPR here, no, you will not catch the new coronavirus via packages or mail from China. This is from February 3rd, so just last week. In the era of online shopping and global shipping, some NPR listeners have written to us with this question: am I at risk of catching the virus from a package? Almost certainly no. Because of poor survivability of these coronaviruses on surfaces, there is likely very low risk of spread from package to packages that are shipped over a period of days or weeks at ambient temperatures. Infectious disease specialists we spoke with were even more definite. It's not going to be transported in a box. Coronaviruses are thought to mainly spread from person to person via respiratory droplets, in other words, sneezing, coughing, things like that. And so far, the novel coronavirus seems to only spread among people who are in close personal contact. While there's still a lot unknown about this, they're pretty confident in this. McGraw says it's highly unlikely that the virus could survive for multiple days outside or inside a cardboard box, for example, that contains something an infected person had sneezed on or handled. They don't last very long on surfaces, particularly the case for very porous surfaces. Some viruses do survive longer than others. Conditions such as temperature, humidity, surface material can influence how long the virus lives. And that's coming from a doctor. Shipping conditions of most products are going to be not conducive to the virus remaining viable. I don't think it's a real risk. Of course, they're not 100% sure. So they're saying it doesn't live on surfaces long, especially porous ones. The porous ones, it's able to separate. If it's a smooth surface, like a granite countertop or a smooth Corian countertop, it does have a better chance. But what they're getting at is over days and weeks, it's not going to survive. If you're in a hotel where somebody sneezes on something and, 20 minutes later, you're walking down that handrail, yeah, it's going to live that long and you've got a really good chance of getting it. Obviously, if you live in a house with a husband or a wife or somebody or a brother or sister or kids or whatever that you are cleaning up behind and eating off the same tables, yes, really good chance in the matter of minutes or hours that you could get it, but not days and weeks through a package. So don't worry about it, guys. You're not at risk. You're not going to get coronavirus from somebody shipping you a package that was sick in China. You have a better chance of getting it if you go stay in a hotel for the weekend and you don't know that your next door neighbor in the hotel room is also from China or somewhere else that has it and just sneezed on the elevator button that you just touched. So make sure if you go out in public anywhere or whatever you're doing, just wash your hands as normal hygiene anyways. Just wash your hands and use hand sanitizer everywhere that you can. Don't touch countertops and put it in your eye or your mouth. Don't do things that you normally shouldn't be doing anyways. Just stay healthy and stay observant. Keep an eye out. Pay attention to where you are, what you're doing, and just, don't do anything stupid. And we should be good here in the U.S. They've put some pretty tight controls, and I feel comfortable. But as far as shipping goes, all set. All right. Appreciate you watching. That was my little public service announcement on the coronavirus. So enjoy, guys. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.